All right, happy day, whatever you're watching this. This one is super powerful for anybody who says, gosh, I'm so busy. I just don't have enough time or whatever. And the principle is this, is when you say no, you know what your yes is. I had an individual, I wrote that little quote, an individual comes up to me yesterday and says, what do you mean by that? This is tough for people who, they always say yes. They always say yes and always say yes. And it's a good intention. And we always want to serve people, serve people, serve people. And I was at an event yesterday or 2 days ago at a legislative event, and someone comes up to me and says, hey, we want you to support this. Okay. And and you love to support everybody and everything. And there's a point in time where if as an organization, I go, yes, 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 yes. And you give. And the hard part is then eventually when someone says you something that really tugs you towards your calling and you want to give, but you're like, oh, I can't. So this has to do with all of your calling, and that's investing, and it's investing in yourself, your finances, your time, your effort, and your energies in those things you're called to versus the things that other people are calling you to. Because if you don't know what your calling is or what that thing that you want, other people will, and it's good stuff. Even good stuff can take the place of what your calling is. So someone says, hey, do you want to give to this? No. And there's obviously a way to say that. You don't be a jerk and just say no. I mean, it's just, hey, I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Am I called to that? You really got to do a gut check on how you actually communicate that with a person. But if you feel guilted into it, does that align with what your calling is? If everybody else is doing it, that's good or bad. But if it's that great thing, that counterintuitive thing, that thing you're called to, and you want to go ahead and you're called to give towards that of yourself, your time, your finances, because everyone is going to want you, your time and your finances. When you say no in a loving way, you know what your yes is. So to that, a guy, the individual who's like, yeah, you need to do this. And it's always funny. Everyone compares it to a cup of coffee or, hey, it's only worth one of whatever that is. Just be like, mm-hmm. And when you're so solid in who you are, again, and I don't mind it if people try to either sell me or offer me or whatever, but I got to run it through a filter of, all right, is this my calling? Is that my thing? Is that the thing that I'm really designed for? And that's something for you to do too, is it's almost like this free pass to say no. Andy Stanley, a church or a pastor anyways, had this one really good quote that I really like, because it's no for now, not forever. And it was a statement that really rang true in my heart, because there's some things that you're like, hey, I want to do that. But no for now. Because maybe I need to be spending more time with my kids. Maybe I need to be spending more time with my family or on my career or on my, that thing that maybe you're a little deficient on, but is massively powerful. So I hope this finds you well. I hope this maybe gives you a little, sometimes like to challenge, but this gives you a sense of that freedom to go, but here's the tough part. What if they get defensive? What? You don't believe in this or whatever. It's just, hey, I do. I'm just not called to that right now. And you're going to have people probably that will be offended. This individual is probably going to come up to me sometime and be like, hey, how come you didn't? It's be like, because you wanted it more than I did. And you kind of got to have a massive piece about it. And for them to wrestle on whether or not you say yes or no, it's not about you. It's not about them. And there's this little sense of peace that you don't have to wrestle with deep inside, that when you say no in a loving manner, don't be a jerk. Do it with love. Hey man, appreciate it. I'm pumped that you're called to that, whatever. It's just, hey, I have a calling towards this. And I had all these things that I said, tell you what, I'm going to pull away from that. Our church did a calling thing. So I said, hey, I'm going to focus that towards that calling for me in my life. Not that those other things weren't good and those other groups and organizations. Believe me, there's plenty of groups and organizations. But is that thing, whatever that calling is, support that with your time, your finances, your effort, and who you are. It's this like total sense of freedom, a lot of different levels. So again, hope this challenges you, finds you doing well. Say no to the good things, absolutely to the great things. Have a very, very blessed day.